Greetings, everybody out there. I am Baba Makanjuola of Orieni. Please do me a favor, like, subscribe to the page, subscribe to the website, powerofori.com, powerofori.com. I want to welcome you back to Change Your Mind. Change Your Mind. We're going to be dropping a new video every Wednesday, so look out for that, y'all. Some more of this good wisdom to help you to change your mind in areas that you've may found difficult to change your mind in, that you need to change your mind in order to shift the paradigm in your life. We're going to see if we can help with that a little bit. Again, greetings. I am Baba Makanjuola, and I give thanks for you being here today. Again, do me a favor, press the like on this video, share this video with as many people as you can. Social media, everywhere. Share it as much as you can if you're digging the information that's being provided right here on Change Your Mind. So today, what we're going to be talking about? Today, we're talking about something that's kind of near and dear to my heart also. Matter of fact, everything I make is near and dear to my heart, because actually I'm making it because I experienced it and I had to find my way through that experience. So here's the thing. To be decided or not be decided. What does it look like to not be decided? Why wouldn't you be decided? Because see, once you decide where you want to go in life, who you want to be in life, the things you want to be around in life, the people you want to mingle with in life, the foods you want to eat, the way you want to be entertained, the things you want to fight for, the things you don't want to fight for. Once you decide, the people around you are going to see you sometimes as picky. Oh, he picky. I don't like, he picky. Every time he goes somewhere, he always got to have it this way. He just can't just be with nobody. He got to have all this checklist checked off the list to be with somebody. Like, ladies too, I'm sure. But why can't that person just be decided? Why they have to be picky? Because you're not decided? Let's dive into this, y'all. We're going to talk about being decided today, because being decided is a very important aspect to making the changes in your life. So I want to ask you a few questions. Y'all know how I do, okay? So every Change Your Mind is kind of like having a consultation session. So sit down, and I'm not saying I'm a counselor. I'm not saying I'm a therapist before y'all call the alphabet soups on a brother. But I want you to sit back and kind of ask yourself these questions and see how they come out for you, and do the work for yourself at the end, okay? Now, first question I'm going to ask you today is, what do you need to do in order to fulfill your prayers? Not your dreams, but your prayers. Whatever you are praying for every day, every night, every Ebo, every Dafa, every Sunday meeting, whenever you're praying, whatever it is that you are praying for, what is it that you actually need in order for that prayer to come into fruition? Number one, is that prayer realistic? Think about that. Do you actually have the ability to bring that thing into existence, whatever it is you're praying for? Because in order to do that, you are definitely going to have to be decided, because you are going to be tested. You are going to be challenged, whatever that prayer is you're asking for. I don't care if it's a job, if it's a spouse, if it's children. I don't care if it's get your health better, to get in better shape this year, whatever it is. You're going to have to be decided, and your decision is going to be tested. Know that. So you need to understand, what do I need in order to bring this prayer into reality? Think about that. Next, I want you to do this. I want you to identify your North Star. What is driving you? What is leading you? What is this prayer and your confidence in this prayer coming into fruition, into reality? What is the moral compass of that thing? Define what defines your guide. Define what defines your guide. What is your guide and what is that definitionally? See, when we get to that fork in the road, we need to understand what decisions that we are making and based upon what are we making those decisions. It cannot just come from, and this is where I agree with the Bible a little bit, leaning on our own understanding, right? It can't just come from what we feel or what we think. That depends on what your thoughts are based on. Okay? So we need to define that North Star, that thing that guides us. And then whatever is that North Star that's guiding us, what is the moral fiber, breakdown, structure, foundation of that? Think about that. Then, as you're trying to figure out how to bring this prayer into reality, I want you to think about this. What influences your choices in this process? What influenced you to make that left or that right at that fork in the road? What are the influences? Is it just you again? Or is it that moral compass, that North Star? And then after you do that and you figure all that out, now you got to figure out how you're going to navigate this terrain you just discovered. And that's going to be a testy situation. Because when you're navigating that terrain that you just discovered based upon this moral thing that you are now aware of, that's when the onlookers come out to play and you become the picky person. But we'll get more back into that in a minute. The next thing I want you to do is this. Check this out. ID what you want in that prayer, but also as you're IDing it again, ask yourself why. Why is this important? Is this something that I need, want, or is just in me that I had no control over? Ask yourself why. Because the why also dictates one huge question. Does this thing make me better, make those around me better, or make this world a better place? Why do I need it? Does it fit into that concept? I'm giving y'all all of this information because once you're trying to decide, you're going to be, in the wind a little bit until you get a foundation. Because when you're deciding and you're making different choices, people are going to test your choices. They're almost going to bully your choices. And if you're not strong and sturdy in it and you haven't done this type of work, it's kind of hard for some people to actually get to that. To make a decision, that means that you've gone through a process to say, enough is enough. This is what I'm doing. Everybody's not strong enough to go cold turkey on a decision. So to get to a decision, to make a decision to say, hey, this is over, I'm done. You've had to go through a process. And even when you go through a process, no one knows your process. So they're going to be pointing the finger at you like, what are you doing? No one calls themselves too picky. It's not a realistic thing. Because when you decide that, you're not even thinking about being picky. You're just thinking about, I've had enough. This is my decision. And this is how I'm going to change this situation, period. So think about that why. Because that why is going to carry you through that process. It's going to carry you through that process. All right? Hope that makes sense. Again, like, share, all of that. Next, I want you to do this. This is a big one. Now, this is a big one. I saved this one for the fourth one, but it's the big one. I need you to separate the truth from honesty. A lot of people tell you it's okay. Just speak your truth. It's okay. Do you. The key word in that phrase was do. Because the do part is where the honesty lies. So while you're deciding on what you need and what you want out of this prayer to come into reality, you need to tell the truth about it. Yes, you need to vocalize that this is what you want to do. Okay, great. Now you know this is what you want to do. You vocalized it. Now see, the honesty part is, do you have the ability to do it? Because honesty and truth are separate. Truth is just a verbalization of a thing or a place or something that you want or you desire. The honesty part is the doing part to achieve it. You have to do the work to get the truth. Okay? So I need you to separate those two. Because while you're discovering your whys and all that, you're going to go through some things, some tennis matches in your head. It's going to go back and forth. But once you get to the truth, okay, now I got the truth. Yes, this is definitely my decision. This is definitely the direction I'm going. Yes, I'm definitely going to leave him. Yes, I'm definitely going to go after this degree. Yes, definitely I'm going to open this business. Yes, definitely I'm ready to be a parent. But honestly, are you ready to do the work? And secondly, honestly, are you capable of carrying this thing completely out into fruition? Think about it. You can say you want to be an NBA player all day long. You love Steph Curry's jump shot from half court, right? But you want to be an NBA player all day long. That's your truth, right? Okay. But are you ready to go put up 1,000 shots a day and make 1,000 shots a day, spend 8 hours in the gym, go through this grueling process, Columbines and practices and workouts and games and all of this stuff on a daily basis to get to that perfection moment? Are you willing to do that? Tell your truth and be honest about it. I'm telling you, whatever you're praying about is what you've come to a conclusion in your mind. This is what you decided you wanted. Now, be truthful and honest. Am I able to do it? Because if I have 2 left feet, that's not realistic for me to be in the NBA. Think of something and come up with things and decide on things that are actually realistic for you. I hope this is making a decision. Now, once you have decided, do this. Once you decide, you must then go collide with that decision. You must go at that decision head on. No way around it. I mean, I've done it myself many a times. Sometimes I've done it without doing this process and it ultimately failed. And that's how I came up with this process, because I did it. I was always a person that was kind of cold turkey. If I wanted to do it, I just did it. When I became a vegan, I just did it. I saw a video and one day went home and threw everything out in my refrigerator and started all over in one day. That was just me. That was probably one of the best decisions I've had, but I've gotten into relationships kind of equally as quickly. And those didn't work out too well because I didn't do this. I decided this is who I wanted to be with. I decided this was a job I wanted to go after or a career path I wanted to go after, but I didn't always know this process. I didn't always look for that North Star. All right. I'm giving you some heads up game here. So once you decide, then you have to go collide with that decision. Go collide with that decision. Now, on that pathway, you got to watch what you fuel up on. You got to watch what you're feeding yourself after you've made that decision, because now this is the time you're supposed to be in the best shape of your life, mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally, sometimes even financially. You got to get yourself in shape. And how do you get yourself in shape after you decided and you're ready to go out there and face the world and go do this thing and collide with that decision? You got to feed yourself. You got to feed yourself the right things that's going to help you get there. If you're an athlete, you got to have a good diet to help you get there. If you're trying to lose weight, you got to have a good diet to get you there. A good workout regimen, walk a day every day, do something. You got to do something to get there. You got to have the right fuel. You got to listen to the right things, watch the right programming, listen to the right music, seek a teacher of some sort. a coach of some sort. Find somebody that can help you to get to that place, that's going to feed your mind to help strengthen your mind, so that when you get weaker, you can draw on that energy to re-energize yourself immediately. So you got to fuel yourself. You got to fuel yourself and feed yourself at the same time, because food, technically, contrary to popular belief, is strictly for the fuel that you need to get through the day. Now, depending on what kind of fuel you load up on will dictate how your engine runs. Hope that made sense. So, feed yourself the right things is the point I'm making here, right? Feed yourself the right things while you're on your path to decision. Now, your choices, remember, your choices are going to be excoriated based on if you are living it or if it's just a diet. Because people are not crazy. You're not crazy. You know if you're actually committed to this thing. This thing is not a diet. Your decision shouldn't be a diet. And what I mean by a diet, diets come and go. Diets come every summer and then they die off in the fall. They don't come back again until January 1st. Then they fall off again in the spring. They don't come back until summer. Because people are always just not real about their choices. All right? So your choices in this process and your decision will be excoriated based upon, and hopefully you will do this yourself to yourself before you allow other people to do it. But your choices are going to be excoriated based on your live it or diet. I call it live it because I don't like the whole diet thing, but if you live it, you will be fine. But if you make it a diet, it's going to die and have seasons. That's not, again, realistic. Okay? That means you're really playing double dutch on this decision. Jump in. All or nothing. What did Nipsey Hussle say? All money in. Ain't no halfway in this. Okay? Now, next one. The thing when you decide, onlookers judge you based upon your inabilities to simply decide to do the certain things. The thing is, when you decide, family members, your spouse even, and I told y'all in the beginning, it will be tested. Your decision will be tested, and it's going to be tested primarily by the people you love the most. See, outsiders really normally can't do anything to someone emotionally or physically. You know what I mean? They can't bother them that too much that way. But it can come from your mother or your father or your husband or your wife, sometimes even your children. They will test you. You'll say, oh, okay, I'm going to eat better. And then every little thing you do is going to be under the microscope. What are you eating? Or why are you eating that? I thought you were trying to be this. Like it's going to be tested. Now, do you have the ability to stop eating unhealthy? I mean, how do we pray for the array or the blessings of good health, but eat negatively? I don't care if it's at a conference. I don't care if it's at a Sunday brunch with the family, with long lost family you haven't seen in 20 years. I don't care when it is. That's when you're tested the most, because you want to fit in with other people. You're at the barbecue for 4th of July or something, and you just want to come see the family, but the only food there is the unhealthy food. And you've made a choice to be healthy. Do you eat? Did y'all see Roscoe Jenkins? When Martin went home and his brother and Mike Epps and them was at the grill cooking the ribs, and they enticed him into biting on the rib, and then Martin's girlfriend came out there like, what are you doing? He turned around with a whole face full of barbecue grease, right? It's like the test is real. The test is real. And again, you will be judged based upon your ability to stay strong in your decision. See, eventually, the picky concept, gets eroded by a confident decision. Eventually, people get to see you as a person. That's just who he is now. He made that choice. That's the lifestyle he's living or she's living. But if you're swaying, okay, now you become picky. Have you decided on stop being a victim of attraction? Have you decided to stop being the victim of attraction and be the advocate of your choice? So if you decided to be with somebody that, hey, this is my relationship, I'm going to be with them. I love them, dirty draws and all. You know what I mean? I love them. I decided to be in this relationship. Some people say I attracted them. It's a law of attraction, right? They had a book about it. It's called The Secret, right? Like law of attraction, right? I chose them. My question is, no, I attracted them. I attracted them, right? Now the question is, did you really attract them or did you choose them? Because you can attract 20 different people in one day, but you only give your number, a phone number, or your Instagram in these days to one person. Was that attraction or your choice? Think about it. So now if you choose to be in a relationship, out of all the people you've met, out of all the places you've met them, you chose to be with one person. Is that attraction or is that a choice? Because when we complaining to our family members and friends about how this person ain't acting right, they was like, your pickiness didn't work. But if you decided to do this, it's different because you're probably not telling them what's going on because it's none of their business. It wasn't their decision. It was the decision that you made. Technically, it's not even the person that you're with's problem. It's your decision. So you don't have to talk to somebody else about what you decided to do. Because your decision is based upon your North Star that's leading you somewhere. That person that you have chosen is just a part of the ride. So when it gets tough with that person, kind of lock that in. Keep that to yourself. That's between you and the highest power. Because that decision should be based upon, like we said in the beginning, what is that moral compass that's included in that North Star? Hope that makes sense. Now, we're coming to a close in a second. To others, you may be picky because they don't see how difficult your choice has become. See, making choices or deciding to do things comes with sacrifices, because when you make a decision, you have to give up things that are familiar to you. That's why you're making the decision in the first place. And all of those decisions you're making are coming from where? Your head. This is why we go so hard at Ori and E. I want you guys to like, subscribe, and share this video. This is why we go so hard with Ori at Ori and E. Because how do you decide with a foggy mind? How do you decide truly with a traumatized mind? You're really just being picky because you're trying to pick around the things. You ever seen somebody eat and they just picking off this and picking off that, taking that away? Why didn't you just decide before you ordered it how you want that to look? You get what I'm saying? Like, picky people are just, but the people who decided, they making that order before the plate comes. You see what I'm saying? So it's difficult to make the choice to decide. It truly is. It takes sacrifice. It takes self-awareness. It takes a clear mind to say, this is who I am. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm basing this decision on. And here's how I want this to look, or I need this to be for me. And here's what I'm gauging my decision based on. Remember, To make a decision based upon what you feel or think is cool, but will that last? You see, God and the highest power never fades. The concepts of the highest power, whatever you call it, for me it's Olodumare, but for whatever you call it, it never lies and it never fades. That truth that they tell that you may supposed to worship never bends. Never. So if you take those concepts and you weigh that against your decision, you will always come out with the right decision, despite if it looks like the right decision at this moment or not. It doesn't always come just because you decide it right away. Hope that makes sense. But the sacrifice is real. And that part is very real. You will always have to sacrifice in order to get what you want. Okay? There's a Yoruba proverb that I want to share with you guys real quick. It's not going to be a long one, but it's a Yoruba proverb that I want to share with you guys. And that proverb comes from Otura Irosun. Okay? And this basically says, and I'm paraphrasing this, but it basically says that one must make the spiritual sacrifice or sacrifices themselves before the spiritual sacrifice can aid them. One must make the spiritual sacrifices themselves. No, one must make their own sacrifices, basically. If you're deciding, I told you, you're going to have sacrifices. You're going to have sacrifices. Now, the thing is the sacrifice and the decision you're making realistically for you? Now, Spirit knows what's for you. Spirit already knows it's for you. What's for you, what's not for you. So if it doesn't show up, just trust it wasn't for you. And don't try to put the square peg into the round hole. But if you start seeing sprouts of it, highlights of it, oh, that's it. You know it's for you. It's coming. But for it to fully bloom and blossom in your life, you must make sacrifices yourself. They call that, you better check yourself. The things that you need to change about you, the sacrifices you need to let go, the things you need to let go of need to go. And you need to let them go and don't fight their exit. That means that if you're doing those things, check this out, especially those people who practice Ifa. If you're doing those things, that sacrifice you just made, that dafa you just did, that elbow you just took part in, guess what? Now it can work because you made the first move. I mean, even in Christianity, they have their thing, right? It says God helps those who what? Help themselves. This is not rocket science, y'all. See, what you decided on is between you and the creator you call the creator. You and the higher power that you pray to. It's your decision. You don't have to be LeBron James and get on a newscast and hold a press conference and tell the whole world on Facebook what you've decided. It's your decision. The job you need to do after you make the mental decision to do so is now. Decide how that's going to look. Decide what it's based on. Are you willing to make those sacrifices? Make those sacrifices. Find that moral North Star for you that's going to lead you in that direction. Find your why. Fuel up on the right things. Feed your mind and feed your body the right things to carry you through this process. Strengthen your mind. Strengthen your muscle memory. All of that. Because as Otura Irosun says, the first move is on you. The second move is on spirit. But the second move don't move until you move. When I move, you move. Just like that. When I move, you move. What Ludacris say? I'm sure he hadn't read this old dude, right? But he had it right. When you move, spirit moves. When you make a decision, spirit comes and support the decision that is for you. If it's not for you, spirit is not going to support that decision. You need to understand what's realistic about you. Like I said, if you got 2 left feet, why are you on the dance floor? I hope that makes sense. Let's change our minds here. Let's decide to be different. Let's make the conscious choice to be different. Let's make the conscious choice to be better. Let's make the conscious choice to settle the noise of being picky. See, the picky, people calling you picky, they ain't decided nothing yet. They ain't got no choices on the table. But if we got choices on the table, we got things to do. We got to silence that noise. The only way to silence that noise is to do the work that we got to do. That has been laid out in this presentation. I thank y'all for being here. I am Baba Makanjuola of Ari and Ni. If you want to get busy with me in some classes in some of our Power of Ari University, take some of the lectures that we have, go over to powerofari.com, subscribe to it. We can at least sit down and have a conversation or a consultation together to see where you at with everything to see the things you need to work on and see what we can do to help maybe, okay? Again, subscribe to the page here, subscribe to the website, subscribe to the Facebook page, do all of that. We're here. I'm Baba Makanjuola. Peace out, y'all.